Hi. Hola.
Hi, here's Mr. Dozy.
This is Michael Bradley.
Hey, I'm Memphis.
Hey.
Hola. Hello.
I'm here with soccer.com.
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 And I'm talking with my friends soccer.com.
See you soon.
Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Adidas X16 Plus PureChaos in the latest Stellar Pack colorway. Now included with the shoes inside the box is a couple different extras. First thing you get is an extra set of comfort insoles that feature a suede liner and a little bit of a thicker black foam than the lightweight ones that are already inside of the shoes. So that's pretty nice. And of course they also include a string bag, which is a black perforated mesh with black strings, and of course has the Adidas and X logos there on the front. Other than that, you do of course get the shoes themselves, which I have right here in my hands. In today's video, we're going to take a detailed look at the colorway itself. We're going to talk tech specs, performance, take a look at the weight of the shoe, as well as take a look at how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you are interested in learning more about the overall performance, stick around, watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, there'll be a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $300 retail price. So again, if you guys are interested in a pair, first link down below, a little pop-up on screen, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. Starting off with the colorway, I must say that I really like the Stellar Pack in general, and I think the PureChaos just looks really clean. So as you can see, it is a majority white upper, which will get dirty over time, by the way. A lot of people always ask me with white shoes if they'll get dirty easily. In general, white shoes show marks, they show dirt, they show grass stains more easily than darker colors. With that being said, there isn't any exposed stitching on this particular upper. The only stitching that would normally be exposed is actually covered up with a layer of fused on material. So stitching is usually what stains and can't be cleaned properly. So for the most part, if you do stay on top of kind of wiping these down after every single use, they should stay white for a relatively long time. But again, that really comes down to how I guess diligently you want to clean these things. With that being said, the upper, as you can see, does have more of kind of a sandpaper-like texturing to it, or a gritty look to it, as opposed to the more of the kind of torn look that we've seen on previous generation colorways. And in place of all the normal tearing, you have these little kind of stars, which actually look pretty cool, and I prefer the look of in general, just a little bit cleaner in my opinion. That's scattered throughout the entire white upper. You do have the Adidas logo right here in black on the lateral side. On the medial side, you're going to find the X, Tech Fit, and Nonstop Grip branding right there, which is also kind of a cool little detail. The little Tech Fit area kind of sticking out, and the S-curve heel is black and gray, as you can see. And then of course you get the metallic gold accent around the heel of the upper, which very minor on this particular shoe. And then of course the solid metallic gold kind of heel counter here. You can see my reflection, which fades into more of like a glossy white. Now the finish on this sole plate will wear off over time. It does come with a little warning sticker that I tried to peel off, but did so unsuccessfully. This one was really stubborn. So that's why that little extra residue is there. But just keep in mind that the finish on this sole plate will chip away over time as you use them, but obviously is not going to impact the performance in any way at all. So overall, very clean, very simple colorway. The combination of white, black, and gold is generally nice on any shoe, and I think they did a good job on executing on this color combination here with the PureChaos. So I'm a big fan, but let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. When it comes to performance, the X16 Plus PureChaos is a very good shoe. It's actually my personal favorite shoe at the moment from all of the current generation Adidas stuff. With that being said, it's a little bit confusing to explain, mainly because Adidas hasn't done the best job with the tech specs, and I guess the marketing as a whole has been a little bit unclear. The most unclear thing is the fact that this shoe does actually have laces. They're underneath what they call the prime cut lace cover, so basically everything from this seam back is just a shroud to cover the laces. So you do have a lacing system on this shoe, and the laces are entirely necessary to keep your foot locked in place when wearing these. So just keep that in mind. This is not laceless like you'll find from the A16 Plus Pure Control. With that being said, you'll find that the tech specs read that this has a Tech Fit upper, which isn't very clear in terms of explaining what's actually happening. The Tech Fit system is this black part that you see sticking out around the heel and ankle area. Now this extends up until this seam, and it's completely internal. It's an elasticated material, so when you slide your foot inside of this opening, it kind of expands through the midfoot and then compresses to your foot, almost like a sock would, but that completely ends once you get to the other side of this seam. And of course, the lace cover itself is the part that you actually see. This is a synthetic material that's kind of unspecified on this shoe. It's a material that is thin, but at the same time does have a little bit of a padded sensation to it. So it's not necessarily a true barefoot experience. It does have, like I said, that little bit of a cushion sensation on the ball, which I'm personally not really opposed to. I think a lot of people would buy this kind of expecting them to be super, super thin, but like I said, that's not necessarily the case. So the upper itself, I have no problems with the synthetic. It's soft, it's flexible, it moves naturally with your foot. This seam does seem like it would be kind of in an awkward position right in the forefoot area, but honestly you don't feel it while you're wearing the shoe whatsoever. And the overall comfort and just quality of the fit on this shoe is much better than expected given this fairly new concept that they've implemented here. Now the lace cover is, like I said, what they call the pure cut system. That doesn't necessarily allow for the best access to the laces themselves, so you kind of just put the shoes on and then pull from the top because that's all you can access. But there are actually 3 nylon straps, so 3 lace points on either side that do allow you to tie the laces up. They don't go very deep down, as you can see, and they don't go very high up. It's basically very short from here to ear. So if you do like your shoes to fit really, really tight all the way through, again, maybe not the best option for you just because the lacing system doesn't necessarily have kind of the most distance covered on the actual shoe itself. But nonetheless, you still can get a secure fit given that you have the proper sizing. The upper itself, the finish on the outside, like I said, is a little bit different than what we've seen on previous colorways. This has a slightly kind of gritty sensation to it. It's not rough like sandpaper, it's just a little bit of texturing in general, which again, doesn't really feel different to me in comparison to previous colorways when you're actually using the shoes. And then of course you have non-stop grip acting as your wet control element, which is normally the small little dots that you'll find on the upper of the shoe. This, with the texturing change, doesn't have those small little dots. You can see that the actual stars themselves have a little bit of a different shade to them. They're kind of etched out, if you will. I'm not sure if there's some kind of coating within the dots, which acts as non-stop grip, but nonetheless, not really a major feature, and I don't really see where they've implemented non-stop grip on this particular shoe. Because like I said, every other time we've seen it, it's been in the form of these tiny little kind of translucent dots, which this shoe does not have. Moving on to the rear of the shoe, you're going to find the kind of collar extension area. This is what I would describe as a low-cut shoe. You have these little extension pieces at the sides which do nothing in terms of changing the fit and general feel of the shoe. They're kind of just there as extension pieces, mainly for looks. This comes up a little bit higher, but again, you don't feel that when you're wearing the shoes. And then of course you have the S-curve heel, which is supposed to relieve tension on the Achilles tendon, but in all honesty, it's just an extension piece that again, has really no purpose in regards to performance. It doesn't need to be there, but it is there. It's not necessarily something that gets in the way. The overall fit and feel of this shoe is that of a standard low-cut shoe, which again, not necessarily a bad thing. They just went for something that I guess looks a little bit different in this particular situation. Moving on to the inside, you're gonna find a synthetic suede heel liner with these little grip dots running through the very back of the heel. They're golden color on this particular colorway and do a pretty effective job of actually gripping your sock and just making sure that your heel lockdown is sufficient in the shoe, which I definitely will say that it is. The insole, fully removable. This is of course the included ones. You get the extra set you guys saw at the start of the video as well. This is a mesh liner on top, some perforations throughout the entire insole, and it's just a single layer of this black foam. Nothing too fancy, but it does get the job done. And then of course you have your sprint frame construction, which does include an external heel counter attached directly to the sole plate. The sole plate is a standard TPU plastic, very thin, has some decent flexibility to it in the forefoot. The stiffener bars running through the heel and midfoot, obviously to add rigidity in the spots of the sole plate where that is required. And again, it's partially what makes this shoe as light as it is, which we'll take a look at in just a second. And of course you get the FGAG stud pattern, which is technically for use on firm natural grass and artificial grass. So if you only want to buy one pair of shoes to use on both natural and artificial playing surfaces, all the current Adidas models, X, Ace, and Messi lines have FGAG stud patterns, so you can get away with it. Although all the lines feature pretty much the exact same layout, which we've been seeing from Adidas for basically since 2010 when they first launched the F50. This is that exact same layout with some variation to the studs that will obviously be a little bit different from line to line, X, Ace, and Messi, but the overall performance very, very similar with all of them. It does get the job done. It's nothing that I would say is overly revolutionary or overly fantastic in regards to performance, but again, it gets the job done. I don't have any issues with it, and if you've worn an Adidas shoe in the last little while, you kind of know what to expect. More of a true firm ground stud pattern than it is a true AG stud pattern in my opinion, but again, for a shoe that you can wear on both natural and artificial grass, it does get the job done. No issues with traction, safety, or really durability based on my experience. So all in all, pretty good shoe as a whole. In regards to weight, the X16 Plus PureChaos is a very lightweight shoe. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna weigh them for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind, this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're gonna throw them on the scale and you can see that they weigh in at 7.2 ounces, the equivalent of 204 grams. So right at the 7-ounce mark, very, very light. There are of course lighter shoes out there, but if you're looking for just a lightweight feel in general from a shoe that has a snug fit but isn't overly tight, this is definitely something that you may want to consider. You're unlikely to have issues with the weight of this shoe. And again, as a package, it's kind of a unique shoe that doesn't really compare to too much else out there. So if what I've described so far sounds good to you, then the PureChaos, like I said, is a pretty solid option. All right, so here is a look at the PureChaos on feet. This is a shoe that out of the box fits pretty comfortably. There's not a whole lot to break in here. You'll immediately notice that the opening to put your foot inside the shoe isn't the biggest. You're gonna have to really kind of stretch open that kind of tech fit collar area, but once you stretch it out and get your foot in there, it kind of compresses to the exact shape of your foot and gives you kind of a nice connected feel to the shoe in general. The upper at the front, very soft, very flexible. The synthetic material in general I think is pretty nice, although like I said, it's not perhaps as thin as you might expect. And the lockdown in the heel, it's pretty good as well. Again, I still don't care for the extension piece with the S-curve heel, but it's not something that impacts the feel or comfort of the shoe. That's more of an appearance thing more than anything. As far as the fit of the shoe is concerned, width-wise, it's gonna be suitable for most people. It does have a more snug fit through the midfoot, but for the most part, they're gonna be suitable for just about anybody. If you have really, really wide feet, maybe not the best option, mainly because you're not gonna get too much stretch out of the shoe, or you're gonna find that seam across the middle of the forefoot. But for the most part, these will fit most people pretty comfortably. As far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right guys, that is it for my review of the Stellar Pack Adidas X16 Plus PureChaos. If you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself, you can go ahead and check out the review page on my website, which will be the first link down below, or you can click the little eye in the corner of the screen. And of course, on that page, you will find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $300 retail price. If you have any questions regarding this shoe, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.